There's a question nobody wants to ask out loud. Why are young men walking away? Not from jobs, not from relationships, from the entire social contract they were told would work if they just played by the rules. This isn't about politics. It's about incentives. And when incentives break, people leave. Online it's openly said. There's a male loser epidemic now. Men just aren't trying. But how do you try harder in a game where access is restricted, rules change mid-play, and failure is treated as moral defect? You can work 2 jobs and still be called lazy because you're not also emotionally available enough. You can pursue education and be told you're taking up space. You can compete and be told competition itself is problematic. The accusation isn't about effort. It's about making withdrawal look like personal failure, instead of rational response. Men are still expected to build, provide, protect, and sacrifice, but the upside has been removed. Let's see some of the problems. Divorce courts favor custody to mothers by default in most cases. Alimony structures punish financial success. Presumed guilt and accusations, even before trial. Physical labor devalued while white-collar work is gate-kept. Education systems optimized against male learning styles, less recess, more sitting still, heavy penalties for natural risk-taking behavior. You were told, be strong, be stable, be the provider. And when you try, the system penalizes you for every inch you move forward. You don't motivate effort by increasing risk and removing reward. You create withdrawal. Men aren't just criticized in the media, they're caricatured. The father is incompetent. The husband is the punchline. The boyfriend is the problem to be fixed. Strength is rewritten as pathology. Protectiveness gets called controlling. Ambition gets called toxic. A majority of sitcom dads for the last 20 years has been a man-child saved by his competent wife. Majority of male protagonists now has to apologize for his masculinity before he's allowed to save anyone. It's not subtle. And young men notice. When every mirror shows you as broken, you stop looking in mirrors. We tell men to open up, then socially punish them when they do. A man shares his struggles, and he is either told he's centering himself, accused of derailing conversations about others, seen as weak by potential partners, or worse, his vulnerability is used against him later. Male vulnerability is only tolerated if it's brief, apologetic, and followed by self-correction. Anything deeper than that? You're suddenly too much. You're trauma dumping. You're not managing your emotions properly. So men learned. Shut up, or be punished for speaking. Here's where it gets darker. European nations are preparing women for frontline combat as tensions with Russia rise. Not out of equality rhetoric, but because demographics and manpower shortages are forcing a rewrite of centuries-old norms. That's not empowerment. That's demand without supply. You spent 2 generations telling men they're not needed, that masculinity is outdated, and that traditional roles are oppressive. Then a war footing emerges and suddenly, where did all the young men go? They're still here. They just stopped answering the call. You can't demonize a population during peace and then demand their sacrifice during crisis. Men are expected to be disposable in crisis, but defective if they are not emotionally expressive. Work the dangerous jobs. Go to war if needed. Step in front of the threat. That's the deal, right? But also, go to therapy. Talk about your feelings. Be soft. Be present. You can't demand sacrifice and softness at the same time without breaking people. One requires shutting down. The other requires opening up. You can't be both the shield and the open wound. So men pick one. Usually the one that keeps them alive. In some industries, men are told they're overrepresented. In others, they're told they're underperforming. Hiring initiatives explicitly state, we're looking for diverse candidates. Which often means, not you. Scholarships, mentorship programs, leadership tracks, filtered by gender and identity before merit gets a look. When merit becomes suspect, disengagement follows. You're not going to keep trying in a space that openly says your presence is part of the problem. You're going to leave. Quietly. Without drama. And that's exactly what's happening. Traits that once made men useful, stoicism, competitiveness, grit, were labeled toxic. So men softened up. They stepped back. They stopped taking charge in group projects, stopped assuming leadership roles, stopped asserting themselves in spaces that felt hostile. And now we're surprised men don't lead, don't engage, and don't volunteer. You don't remove leadership qualities and then complain about the absence of leaders. You wanted men to be less dominant? You've got it. They're gone. Not into the woods with a manifesto. Just gone. Quiet. Disengaged. Doing the bare minimum. Opting out of relationships, out of ambition, out of the institutions that told them they were the problem. This isn't about left or right. It's not about blame. It's about what happens when an entire generation of men looks at the deal they're being offered and says, "No thanks." You can call them lazy. You can call them dangerous. You can call them lost. But they're not lost. They know exactly where they are. They're just not playing anymore. What do you think? Drop a comment down below. And if this resonated with you, share it. Because this conversation isn't happening enough.